Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals, I'm here with some Heart of the Swarm action. It's the ZvZ today, and it is on an amazing map. So I'm going to go straight ahead and introduce these two players to you. Down in the lower right position, the red Zerg player, it is LzGaMeR. And his opponent, down in the lower left, from team LGIM, the blue Zerg, LosirA. Now these two are actually really good. I like LzGaMeR. The first time, I still remember to this day the first time I ever cast LzGaMeR, and I hadn't really ever taken much notice of him. It was back when I started casting ages and ages ago, and I basically sat there and it was on Antigua Shipyard, and he was the first player I actually used the trick where you could throw infested Terran eggs from your main to your opponent's third if you were spawning in those in the close positions, and that just blew my mind. And I was just like, oh my god, he literally got like I think it was saying like 15 infestors and just lobbed so many infested Terrans over and just tilled the third base. And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed, and then I laughed a bit more, and then I was like, yeah, this bro, he's pro. So yeah, let's talk about what these two could be doing. ZvZ in Heart of the Swarm, it's Mutalisks. That's where it's at. Mutalisks is good. Every single ZvZ I've cast recently has gone to Mutas pretty much because it's really strong. The health regeneration is great. You can harass, they're maneuverable, you can come back to defend, everything's nice about them. Other things you can get is Roach Hydra. That's being used to some extent by some players. And the one thing I haven't actually very often seen is Swarm Host used in ZvZ. I think it's just because it's such a fast-paced map and matchup that it's just really hard to make it work and get enough out and get them in a good enough position. But we'll wait to see what the metagame does. But currently, these two going for very different builds. LosirA, he went for the spawning pool into a gas very early. Meanwhile, LZ, he went for hatch first, now getting his spawning pool down at 16. So this is a lot more similar to what we're used to seeing from pros, is going out for that very quick hatchery. So we'll wait to see whether LosirA responds to that with some aggression, whether he's going to take his own hatchery fairly soon. He does have those 4 Zerglings out at the moment, also getting speed out, so there's actually going to be quite a few Lings very early on. LosirA just keeping the Overlords around. LzGaMeR does have the cape on the Overlord, because this skin, for anyone who is unaware, does make your overlords into superheroes. That is as simple as I can describe what this looks like. It's just like some kind of Batman cape, but perfect time to move out. Sees an awful lot of Zerglings moving across the map, and do you know what that means? That means that LZ's got time to defend. So he should, as soon as his spawning pool finishes, pump out a couple of Lings just to make sure it's all fine. There we go. The Queen started, second Queen started. He's not going to have any problem because this isn't enough Zerglings to really kill everything. But LosirA is following this up with an awful lot more. Another 8. This is like just a mass flood of Lings. It's a strategy you would not expect out of a Korean pro. Having said that, obviously start our life, won a game in MLG against Flash by going for like an 8 pool on Whirlwind. So, oh no, was it an 8 pool? I think it was. Maybe not. Anyway, it was an early pull. But the point is, we do now see that LosirA just starting to chip away at this hatchery. 6 Zerglings coming out though, 2 Spine Crawlers coming out as well. And with these additional Lings, LZ shouldn't have any problem really holding this off. Doesn't want to lose a Ling for no reason though. His Queen does get surrounded. This is a bit of a problem. You don't want to be getting a Queen killed this early on, and it looks like it is going to go down, but at the cost of a couple of Zerglings. And this is good play. At the moment, LosirA just pumping more and more Lings though. LZ could be running into some problems because this is just purely a speedling all in. There was no transition plan behind this. LosirA just doing nothing but pumping speedlings, punishing LZ for going for this hatch first. The hatchery's dead now. There's no way at all that LZ is going to be able to save this. It is 100% gone, and as it goes down, it just means that actually LZ is going to be quite a long way behind because he's pumped so many resources into getting this. He's trying to move these Spine Crawlers down at the moment. LZ also now got a lot too many, and I mean an awful lot too many resources there. Now, as we can see, just falling back for the time being. No incredibly fast push, but in we go yet again, and well, this is just overpowering for LosirA. LZ has got no answer to this. He's trying to get out some more units, but the Spine Crawlers, they're going down. The Queen is blocking off the ram, and he's managing to hold off for the time being. But he's getting quite a long way behind. We can see LosirA has been consistently 2 drones down, but that little wall off by using the Queen and the Lings, incredibly strong. This was a smart move as well, putting a creep tumor down before it does recede, just making sure that that Spine Crawler is able to stay alive and doesn't start getting taken out. Now, LosirA, he is getting the Roach Warren behind this. LZ just pumping a lot more Lings, so no Baneling nest going to be coming out, just a much more standard transition. or a less standard transition into quite a few roaches. So LosirA now just incredibly short on minerals because transitioning out of this in order to get down his natural, very similar time to LZ taking his natural, as we can see. But this Overlord's got to be careful, 2 queens starting to pick away, but this obviously gives away the fact that the Zerglings, they could potentially get in, but with the queens, with the 2 spines, it's going to be awkward. LosirA now LosirA is just busy getting out 3 roaches, not too many, using the map dominance gain from being very, very aggressive with those lings in order to try and move across the map to get for a quick rush, but a counterattack is incoming. LZ did good to defend that. I didn't actually think he managed to do it. I think, all in all, losing that hatch was a bit of a loss, but LosirA shouldn't worry too much. He does have LZ does have just so many lings out now though, but does not yet have speed, whereas LosirA does. That does favour, and also with some roaches on their way, that is also favourable for our blue Zerg over our red Zerg. But with the queens just being pumped near continuously, and a macro hatch coming down as well, LZ's going to have such better production very, very soon. The work count very similar, but with these 3 queens holding the wall off, I'd say that you're going to have to go for a very, very dominating push if you want to try and get through here. And that's one thing that I'm not seeing LosirA gear up for. No additional... Well, he is still pumping out some more drones, and this is really the important thing. Just a mixture, making sure he's got some defensive units, holding the watchtower to see if anything comes along so he can flood should he need to. LZ, clearly not feeling very safe, getting a second spine caller. I don't believe he's seen anything in here if we take a look. No, so he has no idea that the roaches are out, but just not feeling safe. He also doesn't actually he does now know that there is a hatchery there, so I was going to say if he didn't see that, that would have been very, very problematic. So LosirA now going up to 2 queens yet again, but it's 3 hatcheries against 2 hatcheries. LZ, no doubt going to start pumping a lot more drones. Is getting a bit behind in terms of the worker count, 25 to 31, but with a big wave of 8 incoming, that should help level it out. LZ also getting up to gas meanwhile, just 1 gas still for the LGIM player. Overlord spread is just what we'd expect, a straight line through the rush distance between the 2 bases for both players. The only time that's going to get taken out is should there be Mutalisks on the field. But LosirA, he doesn't want to go to Mutalisks, he just wants to go for a lot of roaches very, very quickly, a lot more Zerglings very, very quickly. And this could potentially be gearing up for a push, because as we can see, LZ has yet to get down his Roach Warren. So he's defending purely 100% with lings for the time being. His lair is coming down. He's got all 4 gas out, which is a pretty big insinuator that it's going to be muted tech. And if you go Mutalisks, that's going to be okay. A couple more evolution chambers going down. And you might think, why get double evo if you're going to be going for, say, for example, Mutalisks? And the reason is just because it actually blocks off some of these paths, limiting the number of ways Zerglings can go, which is quite cool, and they aren't very expensive. When you've seen your opponent be very happy to commit to a lot of lings, it's not something that's necessarily a problem, but still no speed for LZ. He is finally getting up his Rotron, getting down +1 missile attack and 1 Carabay, so he may not actually be Mewtwo, he may go Hydra, although it isn't, as I said, it's not as common. Mutas are really, really strong in ZvZ, and considering it is a good rush distance by air, and there's a lot of dead space around the mains of both players, Mutas would make sense. So now we've got the lings running over. One of them rallied on the roach to make sure they all arrive at the same time, but as we can see, LZ's Overlord spots everything. 22 more lings following this up. Mass spine caller behind. LZ knows he's committed a lot by getting these 4 gas up, and LosirA, he is just going to go for it. He's got 100 supply, all but a few compared to the 70 of LZ. And while this push could make or break the game, what's the economy looking like behind it? LZ does have 42 to 30 drones, so a good 12 drone lead is pretty massive. LZ though starting to pump out some more roaches. LosirA has to go very, very soon. Ideally needs to push this out as quickly as possible, waiting with the lings just to see, are there any banelings? Are banelings going to be coming through? The answer, no, not yet, but just look at how many queens transfuses going down ever so quickly. Great play by LZ, good micro here. The first spine does go down, but a lot more are behind us, and we can see that LZ is doing an okay job of holding this off. More transfuses are on their way, and this transfuse play is just incredibly potent, but the roaches are just streaming in. The attack arc brilliant for the blue Zerg, much better than that of LZ. And while LZ is pumping out so many more roaches, then, well, basically, there's just a lot more units coming up for LosirA as well. But he knows he's not going to be able to do it. He's held it off well. LZ is going to be very, very happy with that. And the GG, well played, is called, and LzGaMeR was victorious. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you did enjoy the cast. Remember, like the video, leave a cool comment, and also subscribe, because I get new games up every single day of the week. I'm Madals. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye for now.